Welcome, Jazz. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Hmm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Happy
Yes.
Valentine's.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy
Thank you.
Valentine's Day. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
We're so honored that you're taking this time. We know that Jazz and the Sadhana Forest are preparing for a huge gathering festival starting, I think, tomorrow, right? Or the day after?
Day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow, they will have like 700 people joining them on this event, if what I heard, but you're going to tell us all about it. We were blessed to be able to visit Sadhana Forest a month and a half ago, and was so impressed by everything that you're doing there. Then I was so happy to be able to showcase you on the Green Valentine's Festival and hear more from you. So thank you for your time and
Yeah, sure.
welcome. We have with us Basuk, who's on the camera. Some people are just here but not showing their video, and we're gonna start. You may start. I'm gonna put you in speaker mode, so you're in the. Here you go, and I'm gonna lock my microphone, so all goes to you.
Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Jazz. I live in Sadhana Forest. It's a magical, wonderful place about which I will share you more in the coming hour. And I've been with Sadhana Forest for the past 6 years. And so Sadhana Forest is an international volunteer organization doing mainly ecological regeneration work, reforestation, water conservation, mainly in barren, arid lands across the global south. And yeah, I'm happy to share a bit more since it's a small group. Maybe I'd like to hear if anyone from you, like what your interests are in, so I can maybe go into those topics a bit more, and what all you would like to hear more about, if anyone yeah has any specific interests. So I don't know if anyone wants to share anything that's coming up for them right now.
I don't think so for the moment.
Okay, I'll just start, and yeah, feel free to
maybe
interrupt
people
me.
will ask questions later, and
Feel free to interrupt me at any point.
Martine is here. Martine, I don't know if you heard, but je sais pas si tu as entendu, mais il demandait si on avait des questions spéciales ou des choses qui nous intéressent plus que d'autres. Et j'ai dit que pour l'instant, non, mais peut-être après, il y aurait des questions. Donc, est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose que tu aimerais dire, Martine, avant qu'on commence? Non? Okay.
Okay. Can you allow me to share my screen?
Please, yes, I'll do that. I have to make you co-host. Hold on one second. Yes, sorry. Here we go. I will make you co-host. Then you can do everything you want.
Oh, wow. Exciting. Okay. So okay, here we go. So,
and I just want to say, Jazz, even though we're a small group right now, we will put this on the replay of the Valentine's page, and every day we continue to post, and on the 29th of the month we will do a closing live again, so people will be able to rewatch this many times.
Sure, yeah, no issue. So yeah, so here we go. Hold on for the ride. So Sadhana Forest is an international organization doing reforestation, water conservation, and regenerating barren lands in India, Haiti, Kenya, and Namibia. We're actually in the middle of expanding our project quite a lot. In the past year, we started 5 new centers. We now have 5 in India, I'm in the first one, the original one, which is in the south of India, in a town called Auroville, or a community called Auroville near Pondicherry, old French colony. And then we have 3 more in the northeast, 1 more down south in India. We have 1 in Kenya, 1 in Haiti, and we just started 1 in Namibia. And so this is a volunteer organization. It's all run by volunteers. We're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer. And all the volunteers are living on site, doing all this as their, we call it seva, which is a Sanskrit word meaning selfless service. So actually the name Sadhana Forest, sadhana means, it's a Sanskrit term which means the spiritual path, or if you look at it more literally, Sadhana Forest is not just about planting trees and digging and doing all this technical work. That's part of it, but in a way there's also a much deeper level to it, which is why we called it Sadhana Forest. It's about the original meaning of the word sadhana is the focus on the truth. Etymologically, it means the mark of the arrow towards the path. So it's a way to develop and transform in order to align oneself with their truth and to manifest that truth in the world. So it has this very deep spiritual foundation, and it's also based on very strong values, which all center around the themes of consciousness, awareness, and compassion. But then compassion in a very practical way. We're not a monastery. We're not sitting here doing metta meditation, which is great. I love doing it also, but here it's really focused on the path of action, karma yoga, to drop another term. And so to really manifest the way of life that we feel is as compassionate as it can be in all different aspects of life. The way we engage with children, the way, what we eat, what kind of foods do we eat, plants. We're a vegan community. So this is about how we relate to the animal kingdom. How do we relate to animals? How do we practice compassion towards animals? We strive at zero waste. So we try to, you can see my hut. This is my hut. This is where I live. It's made from natural materials. I can, maybe I'll switch off the screen for a second, and you can look outside. This is my window. I mean, my hut is basically open. Yeah, it's about finding a way of life that's compassionate in all these aspects. How do I wash my hands? How do I interact with people? We use all these zero waste practices. We practice gift economy, which means that everything we do is offered as a gift, and we don't ask anything in return. It's all done from a space of selfless service, or that's at least the ideal that we're trying to manifest here.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. Thank you. Wow. So moving, so exciting for this new world consciousness.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So maybe I can go back to my presentation. So one of the things also you can see is that, one of the deeper ideas behind it is that, we are not separate from nature. See, my hut is made of natural materials in a forest that we are regrowing, but actually the forest we are growing. Our slogan is, may there be many more forests to grow people. We are growing the forest, but actually the forest is growing us, and we are not separate from the forest. It's because of our presence on the land. Like all the centers we start, we always establish for all our projects, we establish permanent centers on the land because we want to be connected to the land. We feel we're not separate, but we're not just coming there, doing an intervention, planting some trees and leaving. Like we want to be rooted, we want to be grounded in the land, and we want to grow in an organic way. And we feel that, yeah, we are not separate from nature. We can live in such a way that actually is in harmony with nature and benefits nature and ourselves as being part of nature. Before coming to Sadhana Forest, I had this idea. If I want to go to nature, I have to go far away from where people are, because where people are, everything is concrete and dirty, and nature, and I have to go something far away because there's no humans, and then it's very pristine. But actually in Sadhana Forest, like the area where we are living is the greenest area, but because of our presence there, we are regenerating the land. Because, for instance, all our wastewater flows back into the forest because we're only using biodegradable products, and it's actually nourishing the soil. Yeah, it's kind of, when people ask me to describe Sadhana Forest, I always struggle because it's really a holistic concept. It's a vibration of trying to connect all the dots and doing active work on regenerating the land. And we also have educational projects, and we're working with communities. And in as many of our projects, we're working with underprivileged rural communities that are suffering from climate change and malnutrition. And we practice veganism, we practice non-competition, we practice gift economy, we practice unschooling. We're trying to see like how can we really build a way of living together and being active in this world, which is, a manifestation of compassion. And that's a constantly evolving process. It's not like we think we have all the answers. And it's not like we think we're finished. We're always coming up with new things. We're always trying to improve things. And for instance, this festival now, we started doing this last year, and it was such a big success. 500 people came here, and we eased right into what is Sadhana Forest. And before the festival, we were a bit scared because maybe they won't understand and they just want to party and do drugs, and they will make a whole mess. Because we're also a fully substance-free community. So anyone that volunteers with us is fully substance-free, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't even go out to smoke a cigarette. So we can just create a space that, is very connected to those values and very, very clear and authentic and safe in that sense also. But all these people came and they just smoothed it into that energy of giving and sharing and community. And it was so beautiful to see. And even though I was, working super hard to make it all happen, I could just feel like the energy was so beautiful. That's kind of the vision, or my how I interpret the vision, and how I've been exploring this concept of Sadhana Forest throughout my 6 years here. Maybe now I'll share my presentation with you.
Just one second to come back from what you said, because you said so many things, and it really is extraordinary. And you can be a real model for other communities who want to grow in this kind of sadhana, as you say, with all these values, shared values of veganism and honoring animals and land and people, and unschooling, homeschooling, the children, with a whole new way of life. And you're proving that it works. And one of the things that happens often in communities, and before you go into the deep of the subject of sadhana, I just wanted to ask you, when you've been there 6 years, so I imagine your core group of about 30 people that are always there. Is that about right? Or
we have a team of what we call long-term volunteers, which means they're committing to a minimum of 1 year or more. I'm one of the older volunteers. The founders, of course, have been here for the full 20 years. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary. We have in this center here, this is the main center in Auroville. Here we have a team of about 20 people. The other 7 centers, it's a smaller team of 2, 3, 4 long-term volunteers on site, and then more engaged with the local communities, planting directly with local communities. Here we're regenerating a bigger plot of land of 70 acres. And we have this plot. In the other places, the center is smaller, and we go out and plant trees on other people's land, so that we also give them ownership and help them to regenerate their lands. In the sense of a model, the way I see it, it's like a laboratory in kindness and conscious living. People, we have about 1,500 volunteers every year that come and stay with us for at least 4 nights. And, all of them go home with different ideas. For many of them, it's really an eye-opening and life-changing experience to live in community for the first time, to live in such a way that's so in harmony with nature, to consciously eat vegan food for the first time, we'll have a dance party at the festival, and there will be no drugs or anything. It will be for many the first time that they'll just, dance and celebrate and feel joy without needing to use any substances. And it's totally possible. Everyone's just high on life, on
Yes.
community, on on this love that we're creating together.
Yes,
And
I have seen some of the volunteers leaving and crying, being so
oh,
moved. It's happened to me a couple times in my life where I went to a place where I was so touched by the beauty of the land and the people that as I was leaving, I just started crying and crying. And just
hmm,
thinking about it, it's moving me because
hmm,
I feel that you are doing that there and it's so
hmm.
special.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, a big part of our work is to welcome all these people and to make them have, this experience here. And we don't think that, this is the only way to do things. Like we have a certain way of doing things. But I do hope that everyone that comes here takes something home. And many people have come here and then also started their own projects that are a little bit different. But we do hope that there will be more communities in the world, because this is something that we've lost in the past. In recent times, this sense of togetherness, of community, we've become more individualized in our modern societies, and our value system has become more individualistic, maybe in a way. Everyone's focused on everyone's in their own little bubble, chasing their own personal goals, which is
Yeah,
not necessarily a bad thing always, but we're kind of losing. I've lost a bit touch with this whole shared values community aspect, which I think is what really makes us human. There is the Desmond Tutu, he said, um, he called this Ubuntu.
yeah,
Uh,
I use Ubuntu in my book, and Ubuntu, it's like this inspired the I we education model that I share, which is
okay.
I and we together, the community.
Beautiful.
And you have the picture, you can show it, or I can show it for the
Uh,
people who don't know.
I don't, I don't have the
The
picture.
picture of Ubuntu with the children. Hold on.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's beautiful. Um, 1 second. Yeah, it really inspired the I we model too. When I heard this story, it was so amazing. Do you know the little story about it that goes with it? About the
No.
the person who was there in a small village in Africa, and he asked the children to do a race,
Ah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard the
and
story. Yes.
he say whoever wins the race can have this cake or some prize, and all the children looked at each other and started holding hands and running together. And at the end, he went to see one of the bigger children, and he said, "Why didn't you run? You could have won the race, you know." And he said, "How can I eat the cake and all my friends are like looking at me and feeling sad? It's just not possible." And so
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
story.
It's interesting because anthropological research, maybe I'm going on a sidetrack here, but anthropological research actually shows that in traditional hunter-gatherer setting, all the play of the children is non-competitive. There's no competitive play because children are not like we. Oh, beautiful.
That is Ubuntu. I am because we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Um, so because we separate children with their age in schools and create automatically this create a very competitive environment. But
Yes, I
in
agree.
the hunter-gatherer tribes, children are all playing together, and there's no point of doing competitive games because they're so different in age and size and
Yeah.
physical capacities. Anyway,
That's awesome.
um,
Yes, I'm so with you. Before you go into your presentation, because I wanted to ask you this question from what you had said before, you know, even in a marriage, there's two people together over a long time period. They're going to fight, they're going to argue, there's going to be um, uh, things happening that like hurt one or another. And even in a rock band where you have 4 or 5 people, few make it for a long time. You have been in the community for like 20 years. You've been there for 6 years. How do you handle these human suffering that come up and push against each other? to resolve it. I'm really curious about that, and I think that is one of the main reasons that most communities don't last in the long run. So if you have something to share about that, I'd be very interested.
Yeah, I think roughly there are, in terms of communities, there are two models. One is more a very egalitarian model where everything is consensus based and everyone partakes in all the decision-making processes and has an equal say. And then there is more the model of one sort of visionary leader, and then the people that believe in that vision and follow that sort of fit in that vision, which is more a model that you see in spiritual communities. If you read Diane Leaf Christian, she has done a lot of research
Which
on
one?
intentional.
Can you write the name in the chat, please?
Diane Leaf Christian. She did a lot of research on intentional communities and why they succeed and why others fail, and she sort of distinguishes these two models. So the consensus model is not easy, like to create consensus and to do it well in such a way that not everyone starts blocking decisions when maybe they shouldn't. It's not easy. We have more a different model. This place was founded by Avram and Yorit, the founders, and they actually just started it for themselves, really, because they didn't feel like they could fit in anywhere else. And because they wanted to be vegan, they wanted to live, they wanted to unschool their kids, so not send their kids to school. They wanted to practice gift economy. They didn't want to do any business, so they were living in the area here in an organic farm there and helping there on the farm. But they felt like this is nice, but they came from the business world and they wanted to get out of that. They wanted really to do seva, to do something that's not just for you, that is not for your own benefit. Not when you grow a farm, you grow vegetables to sell them, so you have an income. So they felt it's still a business. It wasn't vegan. They had to kill chickens in that farm, which they couldn't do because they didn't want to kill any animals. So they ended up starting their own place, and before starting the place, they reflected very deeply, like, what are the values that are really crucial to us that we really want to manifest, and that for us are non-negotiable. And so they came up with veganism, non-competition, gift economy, substance-free living. And people said, you're crazy. Nobody's going to ever come to your place. Who wants to be vegan, not make money, not drink, not do drugs? Nobody's going to want to do that. Funnily enough, 4 days after they moved to the land, the first volunteer showed up. Just like that. He overheard someone talking in the street about it and just came and was like, can I help you? And they said, yeah, sure. We don't really, they weren't prepared for it at all, They didn't have a space for him. He slept on top of the tool shed. And the second volunteer came a few days later and slept in the toilet block. So since then, there have been volunteers here continuously. And somehow to create that space, to create that integrity and authenticity has attracted people. And so they're, so the way this community functions, there's very clear values. There's also very clear expectations. We have some people think as a community, like, oh, we can all be friends and, everything's going to work out. We don't need to make so many rules. We'll figure it out. We don't need rules so much. We don't need to be so strict in anything. And that's one way to do it. But that eventually often leads to conflict because there's no clarity and there's no agreement on certain basic things. And so in Sadhana Forest, actually, we have a lot of protocols and rules, and things are actually very clear, like how, and of course, they all evolve over time and they're adapted over time through experience. But like the expectations, we try to make them very clear. And then also whenever there is an issue, it's very clear also who mediates and who tries to solve it. Every project has a project director who then reports to Avram, who is the international director of all the projects, and who eventually decides, because at the end of the day, it's their home and it's their vision, and everyone is welcome to come and join it. And if they don't like it, they can leave and start their own project. There's no problem. And do it their way. We don't have any issue with that. Even if they come here, and they realize, I don't want to be vegan and substance free, at least they've learned that much, that for them that's important to that they don't do that. And so and we hope then that
if someone violates these ground rules and values, they're asked to leave, or is there like a second chance, third chance kind of thing, or how?
Oh, it depends on it's a case by case basis. If
Okay.
sometimes we ask people to leave, it happens. And yeah, it depends on the situation. It's really case by case basis. Sometimes, yeah, we give people, we try to, we want to grow, we want to help people to grow and transform. But if the behavior is really, this negative or destructive towards the community, then we cannot hold that space for them without, it having a negative effect on us. And then we have to tell them, like, listen, we
Thank
don't
you.
think this is
Thank
the
you.
right
Thank
space
you.
for you.
That is so precious for me, and I'll just share this before I let you go on the presentation. But I work with children in schools or in unschooling settings, but where children gather together to learn together, and it's the same thing. I've seen so many schools where like one child or two child will create chaos, will be violent, and because children are like sponges, before the age of 6, they absorb everything. If they let this child too long in the group, then it will contaminate the rest of the group with these negative behaviors. So I feel also at some point, maybe, 1, 2, 3 chances, and then, okay, sorry, this community is not for you. This school is not for you. It's better you go somewhere else.
The problem with school is that the children are not free. They didn't chose to be there, and often they're not. I was a school teacher actually before coming here.
Really?
And
Oh, what did you
I love I was teaching religious education, and I love doing it. But
Wow.
some of the kids, I just wanted to say, I clearly see you're not interested. Just go sit outside, chill, do something else. But I wasn't allowed to do that because it's not how the school system worked. So, and that's why we also practice unschooling in the sense we want to give the children freedom because they're forced to be there. They don't really have a choice. So then it becomes very hard. If one child is a bully, but they have to be there, like, and the other children also have to be in the same class as that other child. All that I mean, I have a lot of respect for teachers because this is a very difficult situation. And I struggled with it, and I saw all my colleagues struggle with it. The benefit that we have here, people are free to come and go. They're not forced by anyone to be here. And it's great that freedom exists. So I don't know if everybody here listening knows what, because we've used the term a few times, unschooling. I don't know, maybe you've spoken about it in previous presentations, or we need, or
I speak about it a lot because it's part of my model as well. The IOE education model was based in California where I lived. I started it back then for children who suffered in school because they were hypersensitive, or they were dyslexic, or they had issues and they were not understood by the teachers, or they suffered sitting for a long time, or in California you are allowed to unschool your children, take them out of school and get together to they call it homeschooling mostly, but you can homeschool together. You can decide how you homeschool. It's very free. In France, it's not at all the case. There was homeschooling allowed freely before, and now they're starting to make more and more rules. You have to ask permission if you want to unschool your child. I mean, homeschool your child. It's very complicated.
Okay, maybe I should share my presentation.
We go with Sadhana.
And then I'll show you some more pictures of Sadhana Forest. So like I said, the main thing we do is reforestation and water conservation. So bringing back indigenous forests. So wherever we go, we usually work on very degraded lands, usually in barren areas, and where there is a lot of erosion, where the forests have all been cut, and where there is very little water. It's very dry, and when it do rains, all the water just flows off because the soil is so poor, it's not able to hold any water. So all our planting work is always combined with water conservation work. So water conservation means to create contour on the land, to create different structures on the land that hold and slow down the water and make it sink into the soil so the rainwater doesn't run off, and so that the aquifer is refilled and that there is more humidity in the soil and that the trees can actually grow. And then we're always planting indigenous tree species because we want to regenerate ecosystems, not just, make plantations, but actually bring back indigenous ecosystems, and then automatically the wildlife comes back. Like here, you can see here, this is what the land looked like 20 years ago, where I am now. I think where I'm sitting now is somewhere where you can see this hut in the back. That's where I'm sitting now. And you just saw outside, that's what it looks like today. Now this is where I'm sitting in this hut. And this picture is already 5 years old, actually. The trees are even taller now. You can see the solar panels here. It's fully off-grid. And you can see the roofs are all thatched roofs, apart from these ones, which are made of recycled Tetra Pak, actually, or upcycled, I should say. So here you can see an example of the work on the land. It's a swale, so it's a trench combined with a bund on the other side. So the rainwater flows down from this side into this trench, and then here you plant trees that can tap into this water. And then you can see in just 5 years' time, it looks like this.
Wow. Incredible. What are
Here's
those
another
trees that grow so fast?
all the indigenous trees. So this is in our main center in Auroville. We're planting 166 different species of the indigenous forest, which is called the tropical dry evergreen forest. So here is another, it's an earth dam we created to prevent rainwater runoff, which now also is kind of a pool for the volunteers to swim in. It's the famous mud pool of Sadhana Forest. We developed our own kind of techniques to plant in barren, arid lands, because if we would just dig a hole and plant a tree here, it would never survive. The trees here, because it's tropical, most of the areas where we work in. So actually, if you deforest in a tropical area, there is a vicious cycle that starts of erosion, rainwater runoff, soil degradation, heating up of the climate, less rain, because tropical climates have very short and intense monsoons. So a lot of rain falls at the same time, and if there's no vegetation to hold it, it all washes off, and then it erodes the land, and the land becomes even more poor and becomes even harder to grow anything. And tropical ecosystems also don't have so much topsoil. They hold all the nutrients in the trees just because of the monsoon. During monsoon, there's a lot of rain, so there's erosion. So the nutrients are recycled very fast. So if you go to the Amazon, for instance, where they cut down the Amazon for farming, after a few years, often the land becomes unusable and is used as pasture land because it degrades so fast.
Kind of karma happening in a weird way.
Yeah. And so these trees need a lot of support because the indigenous trees that belong to this area cannot grow in a barren land without shade. They cannot grow in this. Here, these indigenous trees can grow there. So therefore, we need to give them a lot of support. And this is kind of the system that we developed. This is our own homemade DIY drip irrigation system that just consists of a recycled 2-liter water bottle, a piece of cotton rope, and a pipe. And in this way, the cotton rope lets the water seep through very slowly. You can see it here. It's planted next to the tree. So the water goes straight to the roots. If you would water on top, most of the water would evaporate because it's so hot and there's so much sun. And it will go to waste. In this way, this 2-liter bottle can last 1 week, 2 weeks, and the water goes straight to the roots where it is needed. We even plant in mounds. We don't dig and then plant in a hole so much. Definitely not on areas that are very tough, because the deeper you go, the harder the soil becomes and the more difficult for the roots to penetrate. So in this way, when we go up, we create, it becomes easier for the roots to penetrate. And then in the middle of this mound that we create, we put a lot of compost, we put topsoil, charcoal, all stuff that gives a lot of nutrients to the tree. And in this way, a lot of the indigenous trees that we're planting are able to survive despite the very tough conditions.
That's
so
fantastic. And then once the tree gets stronger, it can go into the harder soil, right? Once it gets bigger.
Yeah. And then after a few years, the trees are mature enough to survive on their own and they don't need watering anymore. But for the beginning, they need some watering. So here you can see some of our tree planting in action. Inside this pipe, we put the sapling with the compost and the wick irrigation bottle. And then at the end, we remove the pipe and we reuse it. And yeah, we need to take well care of the trees. There's a lot of mulching, so covering the soil around the tree with organic matter to protect the soil from being dehydrated and from heating up too much. We need to water the trees. And then here, you can see this land here, it was completely barren 20 years ago. There wasn't a single bird. You couldn't see any wildlife now. And we've done a scientific study on this. Two students came here and counted the wildlife and compared it to the surrounding area where people were growing non-native forests. And I think we have over 90 bird species now. We have about a dozen mammals. We have civet cats, rabbits, jackals, porcupines.
Wow.
We have huge monitor lizards like this big. And yeah, they all came back on their own, you know. So this is a picture of our main hut. So as you can see, this is a natural architecture. This is the local traditional architecture made from thatched palm leaves with local wood and then ropes tied together with rope made from coconut fiber. There's no nails, so it's fully natural. Even when we have to redo the roofing, we can reuse this roofing material as mulching material for the trees. The wood we can reuse as firewood, so nothing goes to waste. This area here that you see, this is our main community area. This is where we dine, where we have our meals together, and our community activities.
This
we
is where
receive a
we
lot.
came to visit. Yes.
Oh,
We
sorry.
shared the meal there with you, and
exactly. So we have many visitors that come every day, like dozens of visitors come every day, and we show all of them around. People come individually or in groups. Every Friday we have a big night, which is called the Eco Film Club. So we bring people with a bus from the center of Auroville. We show them around. We show an ecological documentary, and we feed them dinner. And yeah, every Friday dozens of people come, and it's all offered as a gift. As we practice gift economy, we don't charge for any of these things. We have a program for local children. So we have a space which is a playground with, you can see here, a playground from recycled tires where they can play, and we have different activities that we offer them. But because we're unschooling, we don't impose anything. They can choose their own activities. We just offer different things. And for these kids, it's great to just have the opportunity to be in nature, to play, to be free, to follow their own interests. And, you know, I facilitated the Children's Land once for a few weeks. And I remember the teachers would come in and say, we have a little kitchen there. Okay, girls, you go to the kitchen. Boys, go and play. And then we were like, sorry, sir, ma'am. Actually, you don't have anything to say here. The kids can decide. And then what happens is half of the boys go to the kitchen and half of the girls go and play elsewhere. So and these are all local groups from local villages, where the villages around there are very socioeconomically poor villages from scheduled caste, Dalit communities, and we have a group that comes from orphanage. We have special needs kids that come and just, you know, and when they're in the forest, they're happy because they're free and they know the adults are not telling them what they should do. We have an animal sanctuary. So this is the Goshala. So this is a vegan animal sanctuary. We're taking care of rescued cows here. You can see this bull here on the right. This is Hari. And now actually, this is an old photo. He's now even like double this. Well, he's much bigger than this even today. So these cows are all victims of the dairy industry. People like some people say that, you know, they're vegetarian, they don't want to kill animals, but the truth
Yeah.
of the matter is that milk kills animals.
And it
And it's
tortures them even more. Like it's terrible. I think it's almost worse, honestly.
yeah, maybe in a way. So yeah, so what happens is, you know, the cows are artificially impregnated against their will, so that they can have cows don't, you know, mammals don't produce milk just like that. They need to have babies. So the cows are artificially impregnated. Then when the babies are born, the babies are taken away from the mothers so that the humans can take the milk.
Awful.
The baby bulls are then killed at a young age, or in India, just released in the street, and they have to fend for themselves, and they eat a lot of trash. Like this bull here, was found on the streets. And then the cows themselves, once they're no longer productive, so in the industry, after 5 years, the cow is no longer profitable because of this intent. Every year it has to be pregnant, it's milked intensively. Even though a cow lives up to 20 years, after 5, 6 years, you know, they're no longer profitable, and they're also discarded and slaughtered, or in India, you know, released into the street. So we want to save these cows and just let them live a happy life, and let them live, you know, in a community, because they're very social animals. And if you come here and spend time with our cows, you'll notice they all have their own personalities. They're all different. Some are very, very sweet. Some are a bit cheeky. They have their good days and bad days. They're, you know, they have personalities just like us. They're social beings just like us. They have emotions just like us. They want to be happy, live a long and healthy life, and, you know, live with friends and family. And yeah, I think we have about a dozen cows that we're taking care of. And yeah, for me also working with them, it's, you know, it's a really life-changing experience to see that they're individuals just like us, and they're not so different from us in many ways. And yeah, so if you come and volunteer with us, you might be able to experience that. We also have a program called University of Compassion, which is sort of a unschooling, self-directed learning program for adults. So it's a kind of peer facilitated learning process where people explore what does compassion mean for them, and what can I do to manifest that more. What do I want to learn, to practice in these 4 weeks that the program runs, in order to be more compassionate, or to be more connected to this value of compassion in my life. And so this is a program for our volunteers that they can do in their time outside of the regular Seva schedule. And then, yeah, they do all sorts of creative and funky and all these things that they thought they would never do. They have time to explore all these things. We have a tea hut. So unlike most other tea huts, it's a gift economy tea hut. We serve chai and sweets here as a gift. So you don't have to pay. This is just every weekday in the afternoon. It's open and anyone can come. And it's, of course, vegan chai with coconut milk, without sugar. We don't use any processed foods. We just use the jaggery, which is kind of a syrup. It's a local form of sweet syrup. And there's also no tea. We don't take any stimulants, so no tea or coffee inside our community. And we have people from the ladies from the local village come, the kids from the local village come. We have the visitors that come, volunteers, and they just all hang out together in that space, and can experience, you know, just the joy of sharing abundance, what gift economy is really about. So these are some of our zero waste practices. We compost the food. We have dry composting toilets, so even the human waste is reused. And actually, um, this we make our own compost out of our own human waste from our own vegan food that we eat, and this is all the compost that we need to grow the trees. So we don't need to use animal manure. We don't need to support the animal farming industry by taking animal manure, which is what all other reforestation organizations that we know of are doing. We're the only vegan reforestation organization in the world, as far as we're aware, which is unfortunate, I think. But we're just using new manure, which is because we're eating whole
You're
food
the
plant.
first. You're not the only one. You're the first, and that's why I applaud you.
First.
You're the first,
Thank
and
you.
more will come.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'll present it like that from now on. That's a nice way of saying it. So the compost is top quality because we're eating vegan food. Vegan food is very alkaline, which is good for the soil, and we're eating only whole foods, which creates good quality human waste. Also, is good for you. It's good for and it's good for the soil. So we have a zero waste hut where we sort all our trash and try to do even upcycling and recycling projects. And then what we can't use goes to the local recycling center. This is our hand wash station. So we have many ways to save water. So this, you can see, it's a cup with a small hole at the bottom. And then you put the water in the cup, and you can wash your hands with only 10 centiliters of water, with 100 milliliters of water, while with the usual tap, you would use maybe half a liter or even more, depending on the tap. And this soap here, it's biodegradable soap. It's made from natural materials. And then this flows back into the forest to the trees that you can see in the background here. This is our dishwashing setup. So it's a 3-bucket system. We wash here and then you rinse 3 times. No need for taps. So we avoid taps in our community. We don't have taps for private use, because the thing with a tap is, it doesn't encourage mindfully interacting with water, because you just leave the tap open and the water flows. And I always say, like, our modern Western society, it's very convenient and comfortable in many ways, but and it's designed to be such. But the downside of that is not designed to make us conscious of where things are coming from and where things are going. I open a tap, the water comes. Where does it come from? I don't know. It runs down the drain. Where does it go after? I don't know. So one of the things we try to do in Sadhana Forest is to break through this kind of optimization conditioning. And because, we're off-grid, we're not connected to the water grid nor the power grid. We know where the water comes from. It's from our own well. If we overexploit it, we're screwing ourselves, because we won't have water. Where does the water flow? It flows back into the plants, because we're not on the sewage system. So we have to make sure, that we're not using any chemicals. We're only using natural products. So it's really designed in such a way that we're conscious of how much we use. We even have this small trick where the tap for people to fill up the bucket for the shower is 50 meters away from the shower. So people have to carry the bucket 50 meters. So they really understand how much water they're using. And they really think, like, how much water do I really need? When I first came here, we had even a hand pump. So you had to pump the water by hand if you wanted to shower. And then you really think, like, do I really need that much water? And it's just, it makes you conscious, like, how much do I really need? Otherwise, the first time people come and take a shower, they fill up the entire bucket. And, by the time they reach a shower, they're exhausted and they lose half of the water. Because our tendency is, I have a bucket. I can take everything. I can take there's no limit. And because this is our convenient way of thinking in our modern societies. I just take whatever I can, right? Why not? I have a bucket, I fill it. But in this way, like, people are really made to stop and reflect and be mindful. Like, how much do I really need? How much is enough? What is my need, and what is, me just doing things that aren't needed at all?
It's a great idea, but because just traveling in Nepal and India for the last 3 months, just a lot of places don't have showers. Normally you fill the bucket. If you want hot water, you have to just that was life changing for my partner. And I had done it before, but for him, who used to take long showers and love being on the shower in the morning, letting the water run to wake up, now he doesn't do that anymore. It just the conscious came just from that, without having to carry the bucket yet. So you're even
So yeah, we have only bucket showers here, and yeah, the dishes we also do. You can see it here in the bottom with the ash from the fire. So we reuse the ash from the fire, and
Yeah,
the
I
scrub is
heard
actually
that.
the
I heard that the first time, that is good for washing dishes, the ash from the, I
yeah.
did know.
Ashes is the oldest detergent in the world. It's still used in villages in India. It's the traditional way of washing dishes. It's the oldest dishwashing soap in the world. Uh, and it works perfectly. And in this last bucket, we just put some vinegar, and that sanitizes the dishes.
That's great.
We use wood stoves to cook, which is just waste wood like dead trees from the forest or construction material that broke down. And we use these rocket stoves, which are very efficient stoves that are very well. These ones are very well insulated, and they channel all the heat to the pot rather than when you have a campfire or like an open stove, the heat radiates out. When you're around the campfire, it's hot everywhere, but the heat doesn't, most of the heat is lost to the environment. So these kind of stoves, they only use half or even less of the wood that you would otherwise need. So they're very efficient. This is our solar system. So we're fully off grid. Only electricity that we have in all our centers is from our own solar system. We even have a solar-powered rickshaw, auto rickshaw. As we think that this was the first one in India that was ever built. Someone donated to us a second-hand electric rickshaw, and so we converted it. We put solar panels on the top, and this is what we use to get our groceries from
That's
the local
awesome.
market. So that's even carbon-free fruits and vegetables that we're getting with this. So these are some of the values that I mentioned. You can also see the daily volunteer schedule here that the volunteers follow when they come here. We're all volunteers. And then I don't have so much time left. We have other projects in Haiti, in Kenya, Namibia, and 4 other ones in India. And so in these projects, we are working very closely with local communities in areas that are very underprivileged and that are very remote. Because at one point we realized, this is a model. We want to export this model. We want to plant more trees, and we asked ourselves who can benefit from this the most, who needs this the most. And then we came up with this idea of planting with people in remote rural areas that are malnourished. There's about 200 million of these in the world that they have land, but because this land is so degraded, the climate is so tough, and definitely with climate change, it's becoming very impossible to do agriculture there because there's no access to water, because there's a lot of droughts. So for these people, planting food-producing trees can actually be a solution for long-term food security, and at the same time regenerate the ecosystem. So it's kind of like a win-win. And so we plant with people around their homes. You can see here, yeah, some of the result in Haiti. And this is the Maya nut tree. This is an old one. This is not one we planted, but this tree was a staple food of the Mayans, and it produces tons of nuts that are very nutritious, and you can mill them into flour. We even have a flour mill to do that for the people. So what we do is we have a team that goes out every day and plants these food producing trees that are indigenous together with local people around their homes. So the people, we train them in how to take care of the trees. The people take care of them. It's their trees. They can benefit from the fruits. And if they plant a few trees with us, they're living on very poor diets. They're eating only empty calories, like just rice and beans in Haiti, or in Kenya, it's mostly this cornmeal that they're eating. Same in Namibia. I was just there. They're just eating cornmeal, and then they're eating goats because they're a pastoralist community. They don't have fruits or vegetables. They're a lot of them are malnourished, have a lot of deficiencies. So if they can eat some fresh fruits and nuts and fresh greens also, like one of the species we're planting is moringa, which is super nutritious. You can eat the leaves, and then they can have actually a healthy diet, and not just for a day or a year, but for generations to come. So that's kind of the model that we have there.
It's awesome.
I'll show you. Oh, something went wrong here.
And just so you know, I have somebody at 2:30, but there you have extra time if you want it, if you can, you're okay. I'm not needing you to stop right at 2, sorry, our time.
So yeah, here in Kenya, we're working with a tribe called the Samburus. They're a pastoralist tribe living in Samburu area, which is very dry and barren. And here you can see sort of the impact of our work. You can see all these kind of homesteads here. They have like these small palisades around them where people live, and then we plant around the homes. So slowly the village turns back into a forest. We do water.
How do you choose the areas where you go? Is there people that come volunteer that say, oh, I know someone in my family or my friend lives there? Or how has it spread to those particular places?
I mean, there's two different ways to answer that question. One is, on a deeper level, it is some kind of, divine providence, some kind of divine grace that happens that we don't even control or know how. Someone will come and know someone there or suggest there and connect us with the right person, and somehow magically we'll be connected to the right people, and the right people will come that can support it. But on a more practical level, so we choose to work in areas that are in the global south, with people that are socioeconomically underprivileged, like in very poor areas, in many of the areas we work in are tribal areas. So we work with tribal communities. Then we work in areas that are arid and barren, so they have been deforested, where there is erosion, soil degradation, and lots of droughts, or climate extreme weather events because of climate change, and people suffering as a result. And the fourth element is malnutrition. So people are malnourished, they are lacking key nutrients in their diet. So those are and we work in rural areas where people have land, like I said, but they can't cultivate it. They don't have the tools. They don't have the know-how to do that. So those are the people that can benefit from our approach of planting indigenous food-producing trees.
Fantastic. Wow. It's so amazing. I'm so blown away by your project.
So I don't know if there's any questions that anyone has. If we have some time, maybe I can take a few questions.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a couple people that left that say they had to go. Just now, just like 5 minutes ago. Well, if you still have a few pictures, you can, or is this the end of your pictures?
No, I have lots of pictures.
Yes, share please some more.
So in our projects in Haiti, Kenya, and also in Namibia, we're giving free drinking water to people, so that because people don't have really reliable access to safe, clean drinking water in those areas. So they can come and just fill up their water bottles and their jerry cans and use it also to water their trees. In Kenya, we also have
hold on 1 second. That makes me think of something. One of my dear friend from California, she has an organization called Walking for Water. She will be presenting on the 29th of February, the last day of the event, for the closing. But she has built 11 wells in India in the last, I think 11, and she built in Africa, she's built like, I think over 15 as well. And if you know, I want to connect you with her. So somehow, maybe some of the places where you're working that needs a well, and she could be somebody who provides that well, because she has children. It's called Walking for Water. And she has children from America walking and raising money. And when she has the money, she puts wells in different places. So
okay.
if you are in need of that, or people in need of that, then let me know and I can connect them.
Yeah. The challenge is not only to drill wells, but also to maintain them well. that's often that's also the challenge. So what our model is that we have a good well on our campus, which is well maintained, which is fully solar powered. And so people in the area often have wells, but they're not very reliable or they're broken. So we have in our centers very good wells, but yeah, do put this in touch.
You have maybe information to share how to take care of a well that I could share with her so that she could also
So
share with
our
others.
model is that we build permanent centers on site. Like our intervention model is that we go somewhere and we build a center and we have a team there permanently on site to follow up on the project. It's not that we go somewhere, we plant some trees, we drill some wells, and then we leave. Like our model is we're there, we buy the land, we own the land that we build the campus on. So local people see that we are invested in them. We're in it for the long term. That's kind of our model, that we're part of the, we're not different from them. We're living there in the village next to them. We're not, living in a comfortable apartment in the city and in the evening going back to our homes. Like we choose to be there with them. We're very accessible to them. People can just walk in our campus, talk with us. Like I was just now in Namibia, where it's a really remote place. It's like 2 hours drive off road with a 4x4 to the nearest village, and people don't have any access to any kind of healthcare other than some traditional herbs. And when we were there, every day people would just come for basic first aid, because they didn't have anything to take care of wounds. Because we're there on site and, we're there just to help people and we're living very simply there. They just walk into our campus and whatever the need is, be it water, or here we have this mobile phone charging station that we set up in Kenya, which started very organically. Someone came to our campus and asked, "Can I charge my phone?" And we're like, "Sure. But can I ask you, why do you usually charge your phone?" "Oh, at the local market, and it costs me 5 shillings, and I cannot do it every day because I don't have the money." And then we said, "Well, we have a good solar system here. We'll set up this whole charging system here. We're going to do the same now in Namibia, where it's the same. There's no electricity grid there. Not, you have to, for them, it's a day's walk away to the nearest village to be connected to the electrical grid to get any medical care. So we're there on the land with the people. We're constantly in conversations with them, trying to understand their needs. So that's sort of, and we build, long-term relationships of mutual support and trust. And both in Haiti and Kenya, we've been there now for many years, and people really see us as part of the community. Whenever there is, a problem, people will stand up and will do their best to help us because they feel that, we're really there to help them and that we're part of the community because we're just every day going to plant trees. We're not charging anything for it. And we're just living their very simple life off grid in very simple conditions. And also we're working only with local people. We're all volunteers, and then we work with the local people. So also that creates like a very relationship that's very open and accessible. It's not very hierarchical. So that's sort of our model, which is really aimed at really long-term interventions.
Yeah, and I hear that part of it, you're able to do that because people are giving some funds to Sadhana Forest that allows you to go to those places and plant and eat and be taken care of while you're serving there.
Yeah, so we practice gift economy, which means everything we do is offered as a gift and it's made possible by the gifts of others. So we're fully running on donations. Only thing is that the volunteers, or at least the short-term volunteers, we're asking them to cover for the expenses of the food, which is about €8 per day. It covers the cost of the food and running the kitchen, and also the biodegradable toiletries that we give them. Other than that, it all runs on donations and yeah.
That's fantastic.
Because we're not selling anything. We're not charging for any of our services.
I ask one of because there's a couple of people I see here that are from France. I will ask them if they hear me. Laetitia, Nathalie, avant qu'ils partent, est-ce que vous avez des questions spécifiques à demander? Si vous en avez, c'est le moment. Go ahead. So mobile refers. Oh, okay. Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and
so we have.
I went in one of your bus as well. For the people who come to Sadhana Forest, you have a really great fun bus, and I see this is kind of a bus too, what you had before, right? With the solar panel on top.
Yeah, we have a mobile reforestation unit. This is ours in Kenya. It's a 4x4 truck, so we can go to very remote areas to plant there, and even sometimes do multiple day trips. In northeast of India, we had a mobile center also for 2 years. Like this was our mobile center, solar panels on top of the bus. And now we have 3 permanent centers there. The local government asked us to start 3 permanent centers because it was such a success. So yeah, I mean, I have many more pictures, and I don't think we have time to go through all of them.
But I do want to see them. I think Nathalie may want to ask a question. Nathalie, tu voulais poser une question ou partager quelque chose? Je te vois. Faut que tu enlèves ton micro sur le téléphone. Il faut que tu enlèves le petit micro. Attends, je vais te demander de t'enlever. Est-ce que tu vois, je t'ai fait une demande. But you can keep sharing pictures while we're trying to get Nathalie to come on with her microphone. I love pictures. Like they say, they're like 1,000 words, right?
Yeah, I think Natalie is connected to the microphone, as far as I can see.
Her mic is closed. It's Nathalie, tu veux dire quelque chose? No, I don't think she can do it for some reason. Martine, est-ce que tu aimerais poser une question ou partager quelque chose avant que Jazz s'en aille? Laetitia? No, I don't think so. Nathalie,
Okay.
tu veux essayer de défaire ton micro? Tu n'y arrives pas? Non, merci. Martine, say no, thank you. Laetitia, thank you. Ah, voilà Nathalie. Vas-y.
Eh oui. Alors, je suis. Le problème, c'est que vous parlez en anglais.
Non, mais je peux te traduire. She says she speaks French, right? So they're trying to follow the best they can, but vas-y Nathalie, je te traduis.
Ah, mais je peux vous répondre aussi en français.
Bah, super.
C'est vrai, j'avais oublié.
Bon, ben, alors j'ai suivi, mais sans suivre en fait, parce que je ne comprenais pas l'anglais, donc c'était un peu compliqué pour moi.
D'accord.
Donc je ne sais pas trop quoi vous dire en fait, parce que depuis le début, je ne comprends pas de ce dont il s'agit.
D'accord. Mais Nathalie, elle est crue. Nathalie, elle mange la nourriture déjà cuisine vivante. Donc, on a parlé beaucoup que la communauté à Sadhana Forest, ils sont véganes. Ils honorent vraiment les animaux, ce lien avec la forêt, avec la nature. Tout est fait dans un esprit de partage, de don, de respect, de toutes sortes.
Ouais.
C'est vraiment très, très holistique. Et je pense que tu adorerais être là-bas, Nathalie.
Vous êtes où
À Auroville, en Inde.
Ah, à Auroville, mais j'ai adoré Auroville. J'y suis allée pendant quelques temps avec un groupe. Et
la prochaine fois, si tu vas, il faut aller visiter Sadhana Forest. C'est tous les vendredis. Vendredi après-midi, ils viennent te chercher dans un grand bus. Ils t'emmènent, ils te font découvrir la forêt, ils te font découvrir un film écologique et ils te nourrissent gratuitement avec un repas plus que délicieux que tu adorerais.
Okay.
Et ouais, c'est vraiment magnifique. Et tu peux aller faire du bénévolat là-bas. Tu peux, en fait, ils accueillent plus de 1500 volontaires par an. qui passent à travers Sadhana Forest, minimum de 4 nuits et certains qui restent plusieurs années, comme Jazz, ça fait 6 ans qu'il est là-bas.
D'accord. Oui. J'avais trouvé le concept assez sympathique pour vivre sur Auroville. Mais bon, la
Encore,
vie a fait.
eux, c'est une communauté de Auroville. Hein. Il y a Auroville, c'est beaucoup de choses. Eux, ils sont un peu à part. Ils créent quelque chose qui est au-delà de Auroville parce qu'ils sont, comme tu disais, Jazz, en Kenya, à Haïti.
Haïti, Namibie, et on a 4 autres centres en Inde aussi.
D'accord. Vous n'êtes pas dans Auroville même?
Non, en Inde, maintenant, je suis en Auroville.
D'accord, ok.
Leur
On a un
centre
de...
principal est à Auroville.
Ok, d'accord.
Et
Ok.
tu veux montrer,
C'est-
Jazz, la vidéo de ta hut où tu dors, comme ça elle peut voir aussi. Nathalie, c'est...
Ah, maintenant, il a
il
déjà
fait
nuit, donc
nuit déjà.
fait
Il
nuit,
fait nuit.
ça va vite.
Il nous a montré
C'est
avant, vous voyez encore la forêt, c'est tout ouvert.
sur la tropique, c'est la zone tropique ici. Il fait nuit
Ah
très
non, mais
vite.
ça doit être magnifique. J'en
Tu
doute pas.
adorerais. Je suis
Mm.
sûre que tu adorerais.
Bon, moi, j'ai une autre réunion que je
Ok.
dois préparer.
Ok.
Donc, je sais pas si vous
D'autres
avez une
Ben
questions?
dernière
moi, je pense
question.
peut-être y aller l'année prochaine à Auroville. Je ne manquerai pas de venir vous voir.
Ah, ok,
Super,
venez, venez. Nos portes
super.
sont ouvertes. En fait, on n'a pas de porte. C'est toujours ouvert.
C'est ouvert.
Ok, merci beaucoup
Ok.
pour l'invitation
Ben,
et je souhaite
merci à
beaucoup
vous
de
d'être là.
succès avec votre programme.
Ouais, merci.
Euh,
Merci beaucoup, Jazz. C'était vraiment
Avec
un
plaisir.
honneur d'avoir pris le temps. Je sais que vous êtes très, très occupés et je suis très, très reconnaissante parce que je sais que des personnes regarderont plus tard, même si, voilà. Allô? Oh non, ça s'est arrêté.
Non,
Non, non,
Non?
non,
je
Oh,
non.
vous entends.
moi c'est tout. Moi, ça s'est arrêté, ça s'est figé. Mais je suis heureuse que c'est encore bon pour vous. Et donc, plein, plein de gratitude. Et vraiment, j'ai hâte de revenir. Et Roland et moi, on viendra certainement faire du bénévolat à Sadhana Forest à Auroville. On revient l'hiver prochain. Donc, c'est dans le plan.
Ok,
C'est dans le plan.
génial.
On va se joindre au plan.
C'est le
Ok,
plan divin.
le plan
C'est
divin.
génial. Au revoir. On
Merci
se
beaucoup.
voit ici
Merci
alors.
beaucoup.
Au
Avec plaisir.
revoir.